Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Yo, full-time family, Jorge Gamebred Masvidal says he's ready to murk Usman or Magny and make them relevant. Now this is funny, you know, this is two completely different situations though, so I'm going to separate these call-outs between Magny and Kamaru Usman. Now Kamaru Usman just made himself very relevant with the win over Demian Maia, so actually he's higher ranked than Jorge Masvidal at this point, and he's been calling out Jorge Masvidal as well as a lot of other top ranked welterweights for a while now, and people haven't been very motivated to take a fight with Kamaru Usman, to say the least. You know, whether it's an injury, whether it's a timing issue, a scheduling issue, Kamaru Usman hasn't been able to get a lot of these guys to say yes to a fight. Now, with that being said, Kamaru Usman finally was able to get a top-ranked opponent in Magny, and he dominated the fight. I mean, he wasn't taken down in the fight. He knocked Demian Maia down, which, you know, is more than you could say for Demian Maia, or for Colby Covington or Tyron Woodley, who Demian Maia had fought in the past. So with that being said, Kamaru Usman is now a force to be reckoned with, but now Kamaru Usman actually has some reward that comes with his name. That was the problem with Kamaru Usman in the past. Very, very high risk because he's one of the best welterweights in the world, but lower reward because he's not a household name yet. He's not a huge star. You know, he doesn't have some huge push. He hasn't beat a lot of ranked guys yet. So people would, you know, didn't really want the fight because you've got a real possible chance of losing to Kamaru Usman. And if you lose, it's not the same thing as if you lose to, you know, if you lose to a guy ranked higher than you, it's a little different than losing to a guy in Kamaru Usman who's a very high risk and not that high of reward, because then if you lose to Kamaru Usman, you lose a lot. But if you beat Kamaru Usman, then you don't really get higher ranked. You don't really get a lot. There's not like he's got a bunch of fans that are going to become your fans. So that's why a lot of people weren't really taking fights with Usman. But now that he's got that 5 next to his name, you see Jorge Masvidal taking to Twitter and saying, "Sissy calling out Sissy. I'm here and I'm ready to murk either fool and make them relevant finally. Excuse-man or Fagnagny." Now I think Fagny would have sounded a lot better. Just replace the M with an F. But hey, Fagnagny it is. That's what Jorge Masvidal called him. Now as far as Magny is concerned, this is a fight Jorge Masvidal has wanted by any means necessary. Little different than the Kamaru Usman fight. You know, Magny, it don't matter if he's a household name or what it is. Jorge Masvidal just wants a piece of him for a while. He's persistent about this fight. He wanted to take this fight on short notice at 180 pounds at UFC Liverpool around his scheduling conflict whenever Magny's original opponent was forced out, Gunnar Nelson. Jorge Masvidal was like, well, what? Magny needs an opponent? Say no more. Let's fucking go. I'm coming. I'm overweight. Fuck it. I ain't even dieting. I just want to whoop Magny's ass. For some reason, that's Jorge Masvidal's approach. He has explained it in the past. He said, you know, he offered, there was a situation where he offered to like replace one of Magny's opponents in the past, and he asked for the fight. He felt in the right way, and Magny's response kind of triggered Jorge Masvidal to where he really don't like Magny now. So that's a fight Jorge Masvidal has been wanting for a while. Magny's just now coming off of a win over Craig White at UFC Liverpool in the co-main event, and Craig White is a guy that stepped up on short notice, but he was able to make welterweight. So for that, Jorge Masvidal wasn't able to, so that's why Craig White got the fight, because Magny wanted to fight at 170 pounds, which is what he was scheduled to face Gunnar Nelson at. But then Jorge Masvidal came along talking about 180. Magny turned the fight down. But now that Magny and Jorge Masvidal are free, Magny's not in the camp for somebody else, Jorge Masvidal's like, now let's fucking go. I'm ready. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. But the thing is, after Magny won, he called out Kamaru Usman. Now, Kamaru Usman, he might take the fight just if he needs an opponent. And that's the case with Kamaru Usman a lot of the times. It's hard for him to find a ranked opponent to say yes. So now that he moved up to the top 5, a lot of people probably feel like Kamaru Usman should be fighting up higher, right, to get a higher ranked opponent. But that might not be the case if, for whatever reason, those fighters aren't available. If Robbie Lawler's out, you know, doing on vacation, or if he's going to be fighting someone else, if Wonderboy's not coming back soon enough, if Darren Till's not coming back soon enough, who's Kamaru Usman going to fight? Is he just going to sit around and wait? Or is he going to fight a guy like Neil Magny, who just called him out? Or a guy like Jorge Masvidal? They're both ranked. It's still a ranked opponent for Kamaru Usman, but it would be fighting down. So we'll see what happens with Kamaru Usman in that Neil Magny call-out. But as far as that call-out is concerned, Jorge Masvidal says it's Sissy calling out Sissy. Now, this is interesting because as far as sissy is concerned, that's not the word a lot of people would use to describe Kamaru Usman, right? He's the Nigerian nightmare. He turns other guys into sissies. Whenever Kamaru Usman's name comes to your door from the matchmaker, it's usually time to find an excuse. It's usually time to get an injury, whether you're injured, whether you got a scheduling conflict, whether the fight doesn't make sense, whatever reason. People ain't taking fights with Kamaru Usman. Now, you could say that's some sissy stuff, right? But now he's calling Kamaru Usman a sissy. I don't know how that's been the case. I don't know any ranked fighters Kamaru Usman has ever turned down, to my knowledge, yet. And so Kamaru Usman's manager also responded to Jorge Masvidal on Twitter, and just all the other guys that are now, even Neil Magny, who just called out Kamaru Usman. Now that he's ranked number 5, all these dudes are coming out the woodworks to call him out, but he's had problems getting a ranked fighter for the past 2 years. This is what Ali Abdelaziz had to say. It's crazy all these guys ducked Kamaru Usman for 2 years, and now they want to fight with him. It's crazy. Get your ass back in line. I love Ali Abdelaziz's response, bro. He comes out, sticks up for his fighters. He seems like a really good manager. He's got Kamaru Usman's back here because I know it's not going to be the fans that come out like, yeah, leave Kamaru alone. A lot of fans really, they're not on Kamaru's side, whether it's the 30% thing, whether it's because his fights weren't the most entertaining, some people say. You know, they had their moments, though, when he knocked Damian Maia down or whatever. But at the same time, you know, whenever they were stuck in a position against the fence, you know how that goes. Same thing with the Emil Mech fight. Now, fans do have a short memory because before that Emil Mech fight, Kamaru Usman was coming off a pretty fucking nasty KO where he made, I believe, Sergio Moraes do a somersault with off the impact of the KO. He punched him and knocked him out. He just fell, did a front flip. It was like a walk-off KO. That was pretty impressive. Kamaru Usman's also, he's a very talented wrestler, which is a bad matchup for a lot of guys, which is why Jorge Masvidal specifically calling out Kamaru Usman is a little interesting to me. This is not a great matchup for Jorge Masvidal. Now, I know Colby Covington is Jorge Masvidal's training partner, but if you've seen any footage of them training together, Colby Covington usually gets the better of those wrestling exchanges. And that was the past, but still, we're talking about a very high-level wrestler, one of the best wrestlers in the welterweight division, and Jorge Masvidal is now calling him out. Now, with that being said, it could be a good thing because now, this is the thing, right? There's a lot of guys calling out Kamaru Usman, but he's only going to get to choose one. There's only going to be one victim, essentially. So you got Neil Magny and Jorge Masvidal calling Usman out. Whoever gets the fight is probably got a bad matchup, right? So let's say Neil Magny versus Usman's the next fight. So now Jorge Masvidal, he called Usman out, but he still ain't got to take the fight necessarily. So I'm not surprised there's a lot of dudes calling out Kamaru Usman now because in the past it looked like they were avoiding him, and now they know the fight doesn't necessarily make sense. So he's probably not going to respond to a lot of these call-outs, and if he does, he's only going to fight one of them. So we'll see what happens with Kamaru Usman's next fight. I know a lot of people have talked about Darren Till as a potential next opponent, so that would be a hell of a fight for Kamaru Usman, getting to fight the #1 ranked guy next. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of, you know, Dana White seemed, you know, pretty confident in Darren Till's ability to make weight. We'll see if he has any lingering injuries from his Wonder Boy fight. I don't know if he's going to want to get right back in there after beating the #1 contender just to, you know, turn around and fight Kamaru Usman, who just got in the top 5. You know, Darren Till's a guy with a very bright future in the UFC, and Kamaru Usman is a guy that could derail a lot of that. So we'll see what happens with Kamaru Usman's next fight. Maybe he'll fight Neil Magny, who just called him out on the microphone. Maybe he'll fight Jorge Masvidal, who's calling him out on Twitter. Well, I'll keep you guys updated. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And I'm doing the predictions for UFC Utica right now, which is why there's not as much stuff going on right now. But as soon as those are done, you know what it is. Back to the grind. All right, I'm out. And as always, thanks for checking out this video. If you want to join the notification gang, make sure you hit subscribe and also hit the bell next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you want to help this channel reach its full potential, consider hitting the PayPal link in the description or going to patreon.com/fulltimemma and becoming a patron. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.